Wim Hof didn't only teach me how to breathe better, but he also helped me scale my company to consistent 10K months. And here's how. Most of you guys probably know Wim Hof as this famous breathwork teacher, but he's actually much more than that. To me, he's almost like a business coach because his lessons helped me along my own journey of growing my online coaching business, and it has brought me to success with his help. By the end of this video, you guys will learn what you can take away from Wim Hof's journey, apply to your own online business, and find success the exact same way that he did. So 6 years ago, I started my very first online coaching business. And for the first 3 years, I saw very little result. I tried all kinds of different client attraction strategies and different ways to run my business, but I wasn't making a consistent income. So I had to rely on side gigs to make ends meet. And after those 3 years is when I'd become very aware of Wim Hof and his method of breathwork. So after 3 years of struggling as a coach, I found this breathwork and I started practicing it, and it really made a huge difference, first off, in my mindset. So my very first lesson from the Wim Hof method was embracing the suck. Because in the Wim Hof method, you have to take cold showers, you have to do breath work that's extremely difficult, and the more advanced versions, you even do push-ups while you're retaining your breath. You're doing all kinds of crazy stuff that really challenges your comfort zone, and it's extremely difficult to do if you're not used to being out of your comfort zone. And when I looked at that, and I realized that the resistance is always there in the first few moments. When you're about to step into the cold shower, when you're about to start doing the breath work, you really don't feel like doing it. You feel like doing something completely different. You just want to run away in the other direction. But once you do it and you kind of get into it, you just wait a few minutes, and in the cold shower, the water doesn't feel as cold after like the first minute or two. When you do the cold immersion, a cold dip, after the first few minutes, the water doesn't feel so cold anymore. And same with the breath work. Once you start, it actually becomes easier. That was one of the biggest lessons I took away from Wim. I looked at my own coaching business and I said, hey, where am I trying to avoid difficult tasks? Where am I avoiding the suck? And I realized I had to embrace the suck. You too will find that in your online business journey, there will be a lot of tasks that are very difficult, especially for a service provider, someone like an online consultant or coach or similar freelancer. You probably just want to focus on your craft, your art. You want to do that. But that's only about 50% of your work, maybe 30%. And the rest of your work will consist of marketing, sales, accounting, and those things are hard. But especially in the very beginning, you gotta embrace the suck. Just like when stepping into a cold shower, do the hard part and wait until you generate more money so you can delegate those things. And that time in my business, the hard part for me was cold outreach. I felt really weird and awkward about reaching out to potential clients about my coaching business or just to connect with them in general. And that's what I had to do way more of. Once I start embracing that, once I start embracing the difficult stuff, just like a cold shower, I started seeing the signs. I started seeing it pay off. I started getting clients, and for the first time, I was actually making a consistent income from it. Maybe I was only making $2,000 to $3,000 a month or something like that, but that was enough for me to keep going. And so embracing the suck was absolutely worth it there. Second thing that I learned from Wim was riding the wave, riding the trend, because when he dropped his course, I'm sure there was no coincidence that the market was in the absolute perfect place for it. Meditation was already very popular. People were really into yoga, and breathwork is a big part of yoga. And in general, just holistic health and sort of this pragmatic but spiritual approach to working on yourself became very, very popular. And then boom, out of nowhere comes the Iceman documentary, just this ultimate authority at his craft. And he shares this tool with people in the market who are just super ready for it. He did that super well. And that was another lesson that I integrated into my own business. Because at that point, even though I was doing cold outreach and getting some clients here and there, my business was not completely calibrated to the market. And I had to take a pause and look around and look at other competitors and find out, hey, what is actually happening in the market right now? What kind of things are people into? What are the different consumer trends? And once I've spotted that, I could pivot my business. So I wasn't just reaching out to people with something that looked kind of out of place or a little bit unattractive or not trendy. I could pivot my brand, make it ride that wave, right? Ride that trend the same way that Wim did, and help me get more clients and change more lives through coaching through that way. I'm sure that you in your own business right now could look at trends and evaluate which ones are worth sort of riding on. Like AI, for example, at the time of making this video, ChatGPT AI is a massive, massive trend. And I'm sure people have made millions off of riding that trend. Of course, you want to be careful. Don't ride any trend. Don't ride any trend that's kind of out of your own values, but definitely keep an eye on the market. Another thing that Wim did in such a genius way was keeping it simple. If you look at him, he doesn't teach yoga, even though he is a yogi. He doesn't teach nutrition, even though I'm sure he knows a lot about nutrition. And he doesn't teach basically anything else but breath and cold immersion. That's his thing, period. And that's such a big lesson because so many of us online entrepreneurs, service providers, coaches specifically, we have this thing where we feel like we can work with people on so many things. I could teach meditation, I could teach fitness, I could teach communication, I could teach dating. I want to teach all of this. I want to teach all of this. Well, you shouldn't. You should focus only on one thing that will be your entry into the market, because that's how you can scale it. And that's how you can actually streamline your business and build systems around that one specific thing, that one specialty. Specialists always are more successful and they make more. And Wim is a perfect example of that because his brand is built all around the breath and the cold. He definitely charges premium top dollar for working with his instructors and his instructor training and stuff. So he did that thing very well. And when I was applying this in my own business, I was also a little bit lost. I was around, do I teach mindfulness? Do I teach communication? And I actually defined that one thing for myself as confidence. I became a men's confidence coach. And I went even more specific, men's confidence coach, so men can have their dream relationship. And now being a specialist in that area allowed me to put all these other lessons to use that I mentioned previously, and allowed me to see even more success in my business. I went from those 2 to 3K months to 5 to 8K months. And now I was feeling like, man, I have a proper business that's up and running and it's thriving. Where's the next level? My final and biggest lesson was to keep it authentic. Wim is a huge inspiration for me because he's such an authentic guy. If you guys have seen any podcasts with him or any interviews or any documentaries, he's just always really himself. You know, he doesn't hide the fact that he drinks. He's really vulnerable about losing his wife. He's very open about basically everything in his life. He's like an open book, and just you can feel in his energy. He's not there to sell you his course. He's not there to pretend to be on some righteous mission to make money. He's there because he fucking loves teaching breath. He fucking loves cold immersion, and he fucking loves people. And that's just what he does, period. That helped me a lot in my business journey when I was kind of getting caught up in my business ego. And I want to ask you here too, do you have a business ego? Do you have this image online or anywhere in your business life that you're trying to live up to constantly? Where you're meant to be this expert, you're meant to have things together, you're meant to have it down perfect, you're meant to know it all, and you really don't, because you're a human being and we are not perfect. We are not like that. Well, I had that same sort of ego when I started coaching men on confidence. I was thinking, man, I'm this confidence coach now. I need to know everything about confidence and psychology and communication. And I got caught up in this business ego. And it started stopping me because I think people could see that I was not authentic. People could sense that like something is off about this guy. This persona that he's putting on, this is not 100% real. It's not 100% him. And so again, I looked to Wim as a source of inspiration. And I started questioning, okay, well, what can I do with my brand to be more like him, because he's so successful and is showing up so well in his business and his brand. And it was authenticity, guys. Authenticity is such a massive one. And I really hope that you get to integrate it in your business and that we get to live in a world where everyone is more authentic, more honest. And I think, yeah, we'll be all much better off. So what did you guys think? Please comment below this video. What was your biggest lesson, your biggest takeaway from this video? And of course, please feel free to like the video to support it in the algorithm, subscribe to support the channel and see more videos like this. And of course, check out one of the videos that's popping up on the screen right now, where I share more golden nuggets about online business through this lens of authenticity. And as always, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace out.